Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Romeo Sport Recap Show here on the Mitt TV. I'm Tim Meyer along with Madison Janabet, and we're here to discuss and talk about the Romeo All-State Wrestling Team. We're going to be talking with Coach Jim Kelly and All-State wrestler Braden Mirjavali. Coach Jim Kelly of the Romeo Wrestling Team, welcome to the Mitt TV.
Thank you.
And congratulations on a successful 2022-2023 season. Your team made it to the state finals, which was fantastic. You had some great matches in the districts, in the regionals, and in the semifinals that were pretty exciting, fantastic. Get your blood pumping. Talk a little bit about the regular season, how it started for you guys, and how it progressed throughout the whole year.
So we set our schedule up a long time before the season started, and we made it tough for the kids. And so we had some good competition right out of the gate. We had opening night, we had Davison, and then Catholic Central on that Saturday, and we just really progressed from there. But as far as our team,
a couple of real slouches, huh?
Yeah. And then went to Ohio and had 9 tough dual meets over there. But we didn't quite have our best lineup at the beginning of the year.
Was it injuries? What?
It was some injury. It was just some kids weren't down to weight yet. But we had enough depth to cover all the weight, so we were still doing all right. We have good wrestlers. But we didn't really get our best lineup until towards the end of the year.
And at the end of the year, your team seemed to peak a little bit with the best lineup. And how confident were you going into districts?
Well, I mean, Anchor Bay is traditionally a pretty good wrestling school. So, you can't really look past anybody, but we were pretty confident going in.
Anything really stand out in the districts that happened there against Anchor Bay?
Well,
may surprised you a little bit?
It was kind of a little bit bittersweet because, Jim Morset, the coach over there, he's been a good buddy of mine for years. And this is his last year, and he's had a great run of success. So, but knocking them out, was something we had to do if we really wanted to reach our goal. So it's a little bittersweet in a sense like that for him and me. But I felt great for our team, of course. But
and you then went into the state regionals, and you had to face longtime Romeo High School rival Dakota, who traditionally has a great wrestling team. They got a lot of kids there, and they have a pretty good program, and you eked one out.
Yeah. Well, we've seen a lot of them in football for sure. So it really wasn't until the past 2 years that we got paired up in the same regional. So last year they beat us. And, obviously when you have 9 seniors in your lineup, we were pretty good last year too. So were they. But I really thought last year in retrospect, and we brought it up to the team in the beginning of the year, that they literally just wanted it more than us last year. So we kind of mentioned that and just made it a thing, we didn't really bring it up throughout the season, all the time, but it was I think it was in the back of our heads.
In mine.
It was in our heads, and we didn't want that to happen again. And, just getting our guys down to the right weight wasn't enough because you still had to go out there and wrestle. And, yeah, it was a close match, but
it was a 37-30 score.
Yeah.
If you can remember back to the matches, what stood out in your mind as sort of maybe the turning point in that?
Well, one of the key matches was at 120, where Owen Youngblood, he pulled out a decision against one of their top guys. I want to say that kid was in the state finals the year before, so he's a good wrestler. Pulled that one out. We pulled another one out with Marcus Donovan at 38, Jack Zender at 44. Those were all big matches. But even the guys that lost matches, they they saved team points. So it all added up. It wasn't just like those three guys.
A true team effort.
Yeah, for sure.
A true team effort. And when it was over, how sweet was it to beat Dakota after losing to him last year?
I'm still high. No, I mean, you know, the whole atmosphere was great, you know, because they bumped up their 215 to heavyweight, you know, and kind of try to catch us off guard a little bit there. But I think in the long run, it didn't help them that much. But at the time, you know, they had two pretty good heavyweights, and they bumped their 215 up for our heavyweight. So, you know, they got their crowd into it right away, and then, you know, and then we won at 106, and it was a back and forth thing. And it
Your
was
heavyweight, Iban.
Iban, yeah.
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 And so that was the first match, right?
Yeah.
And so
right.
that the crowd was, well, everybody likes, even in boxing, everybody likes to see the heavyweights go at it sometimes, you know. But Iban showed pretty well.
He did great. I mean, Iban, can't say enough good things about him. Last year he came out for the team. I didn't even know he was going to stick on the team. You know, he never wrestled before, and he just worked in the off season. He was there in the summer. He worked out. He was on our 2 dual meet team. You know, we had a dual meet team in the summer. He went to those dual meets with us. He did everything we could ask, and then next thing you know, he's winning over 40 matches, and he's placing at the state tournament. So pretty incredible.
It's pretty incredible, and a credit to him and his hard work. And so you got by Dakota, which is a great victory. And then you had to go. It didn't get any easier as you had to go up and wrestle Davison, who's a perennial all-state power, really, and have a couple of D1 kids, I believe, on their squad. What can you remember about that match? You know, the guys coming there. It was in Kalamazoo, I believe, right?
Correct.
And what was it like for the guys when we first got there? I mean, what was the mood of the team going up against Davison?
Well, even a little bit before that, because they seed the top 8, and so we were the 5th seed, and Davison had been ranked 2 or 3 all year, and then when they lost one of their big guns, I think that's what kind of knocked them out of the 3rd seed. But so then we really thought, because we only lost to them by 6 in the first match, that you know, we had a shot if we were on the bottom part of the bracket. You know, hey, maybe we'll see CC in the finals. Yeah. So yeah, and going back to what you said too, I mean, they're the two-time defending state champ, and they're the first team to ever have 2 4-time champs on the same team. So that's a big task. But it was like, you know, we kind of line up for the parade in the beginning, you know, and the only thing I was thinking of was like, man, we wouldn't be here if we didn't beat Dakota, you know. So I think everybody was really excited about it. And
in wrestling, I mean, none of the guys seemed intimidated at all with Davison. So that had to be a good boost for you as far as confidence goes in your team.
Well, kind of like I said before, we had set up our schedule where we had wrestled tough teams through the whole season, and we had already seen Davison. So, yeah, I don't think anybody was really fazed. I mean, it's a bigger stage, but, I mean, we've seen that kind of competition all season.
Let's talk about the matches. Let's talk about that victory over Davison. You and your team, it was kind of nip and tuck there. Until Braden, you know, got his match and beat a guy that had beat him earlier in the year.
Well, if you're talking about Braden, he had a tough match with one of their 4-timers. He lost a close decision, but the thing is like those little things, like just keeping it close. But it was the first time I ever saw that kid get, you know, Josh Barr get tired in a match, literally. And
for Davison, yeah.
Yeah, Braden put it to him. Yeah, we had some big matches in there, no doubt about it.
And when did you think you had a chance to pull out the victory in that match?
Trying to think back. And again, I want to say it was probably about halfway through the dual meet or something like that, and I forget what exactly, but we kind of had, like, as coaches plan, you can kind of see your matchups and how, kind of plan. So once we got to a certain point, we're pretty confident, but we still got to finish it out.
And the headlines in the newspaper: Romeo stuns Davison, and you were there, and you all shake hands at the end of the match. I mean, what was the look in their eyes?
I mean, basically, they just said, go beat CC. Yeah.
I mean, they had to be pretty shocked a bit.
Well, yeah, I'm sure they wanted another run at him, too.
Yeah.
But I don't really think they were totally overlooking us at all because, like I said, we were wrestling the best that we had all season at the end of the season. So it would be bad planning for them to look past us.
And let's talk a little bit about the individual state finals. You had 13 wrestlers that went down to Ford Field and wrestled in the individual state finals. And for people who don't know out there, the top 16 wrestlers in each weight class are down at the state individual finals, and 8 of them, if they win their matches or get a point, are considered all state. And you had 6 guys medal down there. What was that like for you as a coach with 13 guys? A lot of guys to be down there.
And the one guy that didn't make it, he lost in the blood round at regional, so we almost had all 14. But it was really incredible. I mean, 13 guys. I mean, that's a fantastic year by anybody's standards.
What was a memorable match for you when you're down individually that you really enjoyed watching?
Well, I mean, obviously Braden winning the state title, that was a huge one. But watching him just dominate the competition on his way to the state final match, and then he was wrestling a guy he had already lost to earlier in overtime at the CC tournament. So I mean, it's not like he's gonna just run through the guy. He's wrestling a good quality guy. So for him to win that match, and I know he was in the finals last year as a junior. So I mean, it really meant something special to him too, to get a little redemption in that regard too. So
yeah, very gratifying and satisfying. But there were other guys too that did really well too.
Heck, Tyler Pressel was in the blood round against a kid he lost to twice, and he gave up the first takedown. And I think I threw my phone on the ground, and I was like, "No, we're not doing it like this," And then he came back and he stepped it up big time, man, to win that match. So that was huge. That was a placing match for him.
And anybody else that maybe that you can think of that did a?
I mean, I was really proud of all the guys, even the guys that didn't place, because they all wrestled really, really tough. We had 5 guys in the blood round. 8 guys in the blood round and lost 5 of those matches.
Explain the blood round to the folks out there. Yeah. It doesn't mean actual bleeding, but it could be. But what is the blood round? What does that mean?
So the blood round is like if you win that match, you're a state placer, and if you lose, then you're out.
I see.
So yeah, it's kind of a one and done deal.
Uh-huh.
But 5 guys losing the blood round is out of 8. That was a tough round. But I was super proud of all the guys.
And talk a little bit about your whole. You have over 700 wins. I believe that's top wrestling coach in Macomb County with that many wins.
Beside Jim Borsett
at Anchor Bay.
Yeah.
What did it feel like when you guys all got together after the team was able to get you 700 and 701?
Yeah, I mean, it was more important for the team to win the district, so we got a chance to move on to regionals. I mean, I really think 700 is just a product of good kids, good parents, just a great community to work in and coach in. So I think it's just all kind of there's a lot of pieces there.
Would you say that's it's probably one of the main reasons your program is successful?
Without a doubt. Our staff is, I mean, it's changed over the years, but I think every year we've had people in the coaching that have cared about kids more than anything. I think that's number one. And the guys that we have on staff right now, they don't just care about the kids. They have a good wrestling background, and everyone has does a little something different, to add to the piece.
Yeah. Speaking of adding, you do add to the piece. You have a nutritional program that you have the kids follow, and there's also code of conduct that you demand from your kids. Can you kind of touch on both of those, the nutritional and the code of conduct?
Yeah. So
other than I know I got to eat my broccoli. It's like and I've been learning to love broccoli. But
I didn't like it when I was younger either, but I grew to love it too.
Yeah.
But my minor is in health. I teach math, but my minor is health, so I've always been interested in it. And the more I read and listen to like people that have more experience than me in the game and the importance of nutrition. I mean, you even see it at the pro level. These pro athletes are hiring personal chefs. There's a reason for it. So I got this after reading a book and from Dr. Andrew Weil. This is years ago, and he recommended implementing this nutrition program in phases. So we do it in 5 phases through the course, starting at the beginning of the year, and then the last phase is like the middle of January. So everybody should be on board with all the phases by the middle of January through the end of the year.
Do you find the kids have more energy when they follow this program?
Yeah. I mean, kids are kids. They're not going to follow it 100% to the T, but at least we're giving them something, and we're reinforcing it like pretty much daily.
Yeah.
And I even, like, I coach middle school football, and we do the same kind of thing. Nothing as extreme, but like cut out junk food, drink more water. Step one.
Stay away from McDonald's.
McDonald's
is expensive now, so
saving money too.
You're saving money as well. About the code of conduct, and it's a bit of morals to follow, team goals in there, as well as a how to carry yourself in public.
Yeah, and so we've had for years we had what was called the foundation of our program, and there were some things that I thought they were real important, and they weren't wrestling things, but they were like just caring for people and always doing your best, things like that. And then this year at the beginning of the year we wanted to find something that we could just like really focus. We're always trying to build a culture, but one of the things that we talked about was norms and values and things that we value. And we as coaches, we had like, it was like a little exercise we did for about an hour, and we figured out, okay, these are the 3 that we're going to focus on. So, and it was RAD, R-A-D was our, so respect, accountability, and discipline were our things. And then our values were 1, one person talk, no cell phones, and everyone help out.
Wait, no cell phones? How did everybody live without no cell phones?
Does it add something?
Oh, that had to have been a bit of withdrawal for some people.
Well,
right?
because last year, we were at a dual meet, and we're in the middle of a dual meet, and you look over at the sideline, and there's 3 or 4 kids on their phone. You know what I mean?
Not the pros yet.
Yeah, right.
Well, it sounds like it was a great recipe, and it brought you a successful season. Tell us a little bit about next season and what you expect from the Romeo Bulldog wrestling team from next year.
So, first thing we have to do is thank our seniors and our 2 captains, Braden and Tyler, and all the seniors really for being good role models and leaders, because I think that carries weight, going forward. The guys that are juniors and even the sophomores this year and some of the freshmen that are a little bit more mature, they're going to be the leaders in the room. So I think we have a great group coming back. Our freshman class is super strong, and our 8th grade class is like right there with them. So we're going to have some really talented, good young wrestlers next year.
Uh, I think we're going to be looking forward to covering Romeo Wrestling next year a little closer, and definitely want to get out there and see you guys live and in person.
Cool.
Jim Kelly, thank you for stopping by and sharing a little bit of your successful season with us here at the Mitt TV.
Appreciate you having me. Thank you.
And now here's Madison Janabet with All-State Wrestling Champion Braden Mirjavati.
All right, I'm here with Braden Mirjavati, the Division I state champion at the 190-pound weight class. Braden, congratulations on a great season, 52-4 overall record. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, thank you. It was fun this year.
Yeah. Okay, so you had a great season last season, obviously. As a junior, you made it to the finals, ended up falling just short. What motivation did that give you going into this season?
A lot. I was so close to achieving that dream, and it all just kind of fell in front of me, and it hurt for a long time, and it even took me a long time to even be able to watch that match. I think it was 8 months later I finally watched it, and it took me a while to get over it, but I did. I was better for it. I'm grateful it happened and made me a better wrestler.
Definitely. Coach Callie describes you as being very disciplined with your fitness, your mindset, your nutrition. What did you work on in the off season after that junior year going into the senior year to improve for the season?
Yeah, so this year and last year I was on the football team, so that's kind of a struggle that kind of blocked a lot of wrestling for me because there's not enough time for drills and workouts to make me better. But what really made me better in the off season was visualization, because I don't have to work out and tax my body, and I can still get better. And then I guess most of my training then between last year and this year was all done this season. Most of it was before and after practices. I'm either running or with my dad. He'll drive behind me in his truck. We'll go up a hill. It's horrible. Yeah.
Good workout, though.
Yeah. Or I'll like lift weights at the school weight room, and helped me get here. So.
Definitely. So, like I mentioned, 52-4 overall on the season. As you started piling up the wins, I'm sure you started building up the confidence, right? Did you go into matches thinking, I've got this one, I'm going to win this one?
Yeah, I mean, so I go into matches not thinking about the outcome, like am I going to win, but rather I'm going to hit what I worked on all week to make me a better wrestler, because that's the only way I can get better. Yeah, I can go out there and I can put the stomping on some kid, but if I'm not practicing things to make me a better wrestler, that's a problem for me.
Definitely. What would you say was your biggest obstacle throughout this season?
My biggest obstacle.
Bit of a tough one.
Yeah. Confidence. Confidence in figuring it out, figuring my style out. I'm a bigger opponent than I was last year, year before that. So it took me a while to find my groove and to find what's going to help me win matches. And there were some times going in matches where I just felt stuck, and that's a horrible feeling, kind of like you're in a bad dream and you just can't move, So that was my biggest obstacle this year.
Yeah, and that's definitely where the Coach Callie's mindset preparation comes in handy, right?
Yeah.
Getting you through those mental obstacles and leading you to a great season. I've also read that Coach described your performance throughout the season as dominating. You carried that same momentum going with you into the finals and almost made it look easy at times. What was your assessment of your performance throughout the season and in the finals?
Yeah, so this season, like I said earlier, I was always working on things to make me a better wrestler, and one of the things I thought I had to work on was my neutral, which is when both guys are standing and I have to take the other guy down. So all this year up to postseason was all, I'm going to take you down, I'm going to let you back up and do it again, work my moves, and I ended up getting the takedown record for it. It was cool. Yeah.
great season overall, like you said.
Yeah, and obviously it led to a more dominating state title because I was more comfortable there and I had all those reps in the matches.
For sure. And as I mentioned, your senior year, you were a captain this year. So what did that mean to you?
It meant a lot because that was always a goal, one of the goals of mine, to be the captain of the wrestling team. It means a lot too, coming from Coach Callie, because that means he trusts me to lead that team, and I did everything I could this year to lead by example and to show those underclassmen that are going to lead the team next year how to do things.
Definitely. And as you reflect, you've obviously had several years here with the Romeo wrestling program. What does this group of guys mean to you?
Yeah, I've been with these guys, some of these guys, since middle school. They're all brothers to me. I love them all. I've been drilling partners with probably every single one of them. Yeah, they've helped me. They've also helped me bring me to where I am.
They probably help with your overall confidence too, right? Knowing that they're there, they're cheering you on, they're going through the same strict nutrition programs and trainings and everything. That definitely has to help too, I bet.
Yeah, it does. It's kind of back and forth. I help them, they help me. We're all good.
Yeah, I like how your phrase is like brothers. They're like brothers to you.
Because it's how it is. I don't have brothers in my real family, so it's like that's what I got.
And you've been with Coach Callie all these years too, obviously. You talk about brothers. What does he mean to you in this program?
Coach Callie, in the most respectful way possible, was like my best friend. Like, he is my coach too, but I will be friends with him through the years, and he's the funniest guy ever. But he'll still like whoop on me a little bit. So yeah, I have a great relationship with Coach Callie.
Yeah, that definitely leads to the camaraderie of the team, which I think you can see in your state finals. So I know you've got a lot of years of all these memories, but what are some memories that stand out to you through your time in the wrestling program? Obviously winning state.
Yeah, winning state was huge. I remember before the match, I have like 3 big memories of the state finals. Before the match, Coach Callie, I'm like, just jumping. I'm nervous, I'm about to go out there, and he said something like leave nothing out there. I think I remember him saying like, if you have the energy to shake the guy's hand like you did something wrong. And it just kind of stuck with me. And then another memory I had in that match was there's 30 seconds left. I'm up by 1. And I'm really tired. This guy's a really good wrestler. I'm really tired. We go out of bounds in my corner. And I hear my assistant coach, Coach Kilburn, say in my ear, like, how bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? And it just, that got me through the last 30 seconds,
Got you a little bit more energized.
Yeah, for sure. And then that last bit, I win. And to go back with what Callie told me, leave everything out there, I just laid down for like a minute. I was so tired. But, yeah, it was a lot to process in my mind, too.
Yeah.
So.
Because they're all just like a family, like your assistant coaches, too. Yeah, everybody's there giving you the same pointers and the same inspirational speeches.
They all help me so much. I reach out to all of them all the time, like on my phone, like, hey, can you watch this film? Can you help me out? And they're always ready to help me, and I would not be here without them. I thank them so much.
You mentioned the watching film and everything. Can you talk a little bit about what goes into preparation when you've got a match coming up?
One of the big differences between last year and this year is the film watching. There's always things to improve on, especially, I get to watch videos on the best guys ever to do it, and obviously I'm not on that level, and I can always critique myself, and so can my coaches watching the film, and I think that's what's going to separate me in college too, is I'm just obsessed with getting better, and in the end, I do think I will be the best wrestler.
It's a lot of pressure to put on yourself.
It is, but I'm doing everything I possibly can to get that done. So.
You mentioned college. You are continuing at Grand Valley, correct, for wrestling. And what are you majoring in?
I think I'm gonna major engineering. I don't really know. Minor in business.
No easy task on its own there, and then you're throwing
Yeah.
wrestling on top of
Yeah.
it. So we're excited to watch you continue your career in Grand Valley. We know you believe you can do great things.
Yes.
We believe you can do great things. Thank you so much again, Braden. Congratulations on a great season.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us here on the Romeo Sports Recap Show. For Madison Janabet, I'm Tim Meyer saying we'll see you next time right here on the Mitt TV.